Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another special surprise episode of the Multiverse Report. Tonight, we are recapping the new and final trailer for Star Wars Ahsoka, the Disney Plus series. From Lothal to the world between worlds and everywhere in between. My name is Mike Gibson. With me, as always, Steve Haller. What's up, Steve?
I was debating whether you were going to go world between worlds or unknown regions. So,
I had to save something for when we actually start talking about the show.
Right, when we actually have episodes about the show and not just a 2.5 minute clip that looked ridiculous in a good way.
Yeah. Right. Before we dive in, I just want to say, because I know we've gotten a bunch of new followers on our social media. We got a bunch of new subscribers on our YouTube recently. So, and just listeners to the podcast. So in general, I just want to say, one, welcome new listeners and thank you very much for joining us. But I also want to just remind everybody that normally this is a weekly podcast that we record Sunday nights. We don't always jump on for every little bit of news. If we did, then we'd be covering more than just the Ahsoka trailer, because today was a pretty big day for news. We're not talking about the new Blue Beetle trailer. We're not talking about the new people cast in Superman Legacy, but we will be talking about those this coming Sunday night around 9:30 is when we usually go live with either we do a main episode, and if we're talking about a TV series, currently, we're doing episode reactions to Marvel's Secret Invasion. We record those both live Sunday nights. So you can usually find them either late Sunday night in your feed or early Monday morning in your feed. So this is, like I said, this is a special episode. Every once in a while, Steve or myself get so excited about a bit of news that we text the other one and say, can we talk about this immediately?
Yeah.
And today's was Steve cashing in his chips for the new Ahsoka trailer, saying he wanted to talk about it. And I was planning on not even watching it, because I knew that I'm in the bag for this show. I love Star Wars. I'm going to watch this series no matter what. I saw the first trailer. I don't need to see another one. I'm already on the hook for it. But Steve raved about it so much that I was like, all right, fine. I'm going to watch it. And you know what? Very glad that I did, because I didn't think I could be more excited for the show, but I am more excited for the show now, because like you said, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It hit all the right notes. And while we're here, I will say to all the people watching and people listening, we are going to, this is not a spoiler-free trailer analysis. We will be spoiling any of the Star Wars Rebels and pre-Ahsoka Star Wars canon. So if you're not caught up on Rebels and you have no idea what we're talking about, it's probably a spoiler. So just be warned.
We recognize that in the lead up to Ahsoka, a lot of people are cramming either certain Clone Wars episodes and all of Rebels. A lot of people are watching Rebels for the first time because they've heard that Ahsoka is going to be a direct continuation of that. This trailer certainly showcases that is the case. But if you are somebody that is watching Rebels and doesn't want anything spoiled for you, I would advise you just don't listen to this conversation. And that's it. So stop listening if you're someone that needs to finish Rebels. I'm in the middle of I'm towards the end of a rewatch. I'm in season 4, and it's just towards the end where season 4 starts just being relentlessly amazing. So that's probably what I'm going to do after we're done talking.
I was actually just thinking that I think I'm 2 episodes into season 4 right now. So,
man, it gets out there, but, and there's like,
it gets out there and then it brings it right back in and nails it lands the ending.
And I know there are people that don't like some of the out there when Star Wars goes out there. Mm-hmm. But I do. I tend to like it. I tend to, I don't know that I would love it in live action, but in animation it works for me. Maybe we'll find out when Ahsoka, the series drops, if we're seeing any of the quote unquote out there stuff in live action. But hey, we're talking way too much about other stuff.
We'll talk about it in a minute, because there's some out there stuff in the trailer that I'm interested in. So
yeah. Okay. Well, let's dive in. Steve, take it away. First thoughts, things that you loved about this trailer. Hit me.
Well, I mean, just the opening scene, like Lambda shuttle heading towards a GR-75 Rebel transport, like you're immediately in the Star Wars headspace. You're in space, heading there, and then the twist on. So you flip to the two Sith, not Sith, proto Sith, whatever you want to call them, running roughshod over this this transport, a la Darth Vader, Tantive 4, Episode 4,
very similar,
right into that opening, and it sets
the
vibe.
I've heard that they're being referred to as Dark Jedi.
Okay,
I think I've heard that a couple times. So, but I don't know. We don't know their origins. We don't know where their allegiances lie. Or, I mean, the guy said Ray Stevenson's character, R.I.P., says in the trailer, "We are not Jedi," so we know that.
Yep.
But did they used to be? Like, where are these people coming from? We don't know, but we know that they are ruthless. Like as you said, they're just slicing people up and down with their sabers. Plus, there's that one awesome shot of the two. I mean, they look like rebels. I don't know what they're calling themselves, but there's like a profile shot of a hallway, and there's just blaster bolts coming at him, and one hits him and goes flying backwards. Like, oh man, that's so cool. So cool.
Oh yeah.
Really well shot action, at least in this trailer. You can tell. And the effects, like that space stuff, there's more than a few times we're seeing spaceships flying around either in atmosphere or in space, and it looks great. It looks like movie quality effects.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and we'll get to it, but that first shot of the Phantom, like, oh god.
Yeah, that's right.
So they go from the from the transport to the Lucasfilm logo, and it's a red Lucasfilm logo.
Red. Yep.
And then that music just sets the tone. I don't know, it like flips the script from what we had just seen directly into that first shot of Ahsoka, and then the comparison, like the juxtaposition of her with that stone carving of the mother. Or no, that was the daughter. Sorry. Stone carving of the daughter from Mortis. And like we're already into the weird. For anyone who saw the Clone Wars and the Mortis arc.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So that's the daughter being the physical personification of the light side of the Force from that arc in Clone Wars. Is that what you're talking about? What we're talking about? Okay, so we're on the same page. Okay, yeah. I didn't. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
I thought so,
that
and then I
went
went back.
Example.
Yeah, I literally went back to find that.
of out there.
Yeah.
Perfect example of the out there stuff that I was talking about earlier. That I know there's Star Wars fans out there that hate that kind of stuff, and they hate like the world between worlds stuff. And I think that it's what we've talked about with Mando season 3. Like, Star Wars can be everything. It can be both things. It can be Andor, and it can also be Captain Swamp Thing, monster, pirate, bombing a small town. Like, it can be goofy and it can be serious at the same time. So this is neither. It's more serious than goofy, but it certainly is out there.
Right.
So anyway, love it. We're definitely off to the races. I think these Dark Jedi look very sinister. They're working with, I don't remember the woman's name, but the woman who we met in Mandalorian season 2, who Ahsoka fought.
Morgan Elsbeth.
Ahsoka fought her, and that was the first time that we heard the words Grand Admiral Thrawn in live action, spoken as a question to this woman by Ahsoka. Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? So those Dark Jedi seem to be working with her to find Thrawn. Now we assume, based on the end of Rebels, again, we're talking about spoiler stuff, so stop listening if you don't want Rebels spoiled for you. The end of Rebels, we know that Ahsoka and Sabine are going to look for Ezra.
Yep.
And by association, we assume they're also maybe looking for Thrawn. Now we know that Ahsoka is looking for Thrawn because she's asking this lady, or she's only looking for Thrawn to find Ezra. Some kind of combination of those things. But we don't really know why these Dark Jedi and this woman Elsbeth want to find Thrawn, especially when we get a shot of Thrawn in this trailer.
And
he doesn't look like he's hiding. Looks like he's just somewhere.
Right.
When does that shot take place? Later in the series, after he's quote unquote found or whatever? Like, I don't know, but he's clearly around. And a lot of people are looking for him, but he's there. He's there.
And so this leads into, we had heard the next like the heir to the Empire and Ahsoka discussing Thrawn. We see that same shot we've seen of his back of the head, and then it goes to what you're talking about with Elspeth and the Dark Jedi, and that's where I was talking about, like, things are getting weird. Like, that's a Force magic-y Dathomirian, like not Dathomirian, but like in that vein of
Like,
using the Force, but not in a way that would be a
yeah,
Jedi
like
or Sith type
magic
thing. Yeah,
kind
like
of.
Force
Yeah.
magics. So where are we going with
Or
that?
was she,
And what does she have to
or
do
was
with
she
it?
even, or was she even using the Force? Like,
Right.
do we know that she was using the Force? She could have been using some kind of weird projector holocron-like thing that's shooting that star map all over the place, because that was in the original trailer, the first trailer. I thought that was the World Between Worlds.
Right.
But I realize now that I think it was just this projection of like this star map that looks a lot like the World Between Worlds, and maybe there's some connection there that we don't know of. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what that is, how it's being used, and are they using it for anything other than looking for Thrawn, and why do they want to find Thrawn so bad?
Yep.
Lots of questions. Lots of questions. What did you think of? I know you're kind of walking through beat by beat here, and I'm just derailing you constantly. But what
it's the opposite of our normal situation.
You know, I will let you keep going, and I'll ask my question when we get to that part. So you go ahead.
Okay. So next up, you've got the first real, like, we've seen Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera Syndulla.
Yeah.
But we got the first real action and, you know, talking vocalizations, her carrying herself like Hera and piloting the Phantom with of course Chopper, because why not?
Chopper looked great.
Oh, Chopper looked great.
Excellent.
And those shots of the Phantom, those shots of the Phantom looked awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And I love, it was great seeing Hera. It was great. She's like, I mean, she doesn't, obviously, Mary Elizabeth Winstead doesn't sound exactly like the voice actress that does Hera, but in the dialogue that she has in this trailer, I felt like I believe that she was Hera, like the passion that she's talking with, and the, you know, Hera is a very moral character, a character that like does what she believes is right all the time. And I really kind of felt that even in this short clip of her, of Winstead's performance here. I felt like she was getting that across for sure.
And you're straight up with her, like, the first thing we see, we don't realize it until they pan to it, but the voiceover is her talking to the council, like the New Republic or the Rebellion or New Republic Council, with Mon Mothma at the center of it, with Genevieve O'Reilly like reprising her role. And it's just like it sets the stage for, okay, the stakes are there. They've got everybody in the rebellion tied into this. So can't complain there. And there's a Gran, which is one of my favorite species. The weird three-eyed, like 3-eye stalked dudes.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that's what they were called, but yes, love those guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, so you go there and then pan after that discussion to Ahsoka and Hu Yang, the old droid, exiting the ship, which he looked awesome too.
Yes, he did.
Compared to just seeing him in animation, it was they realized it very well. So
yes, I mean, you gotta, like, Dave Filoni created Rebels and, you know, created Ahsoka. So like this is like a lot of characters that he created and that he personally has an attachment to kind of coming together and making their first appearances in live action, or some of their first appearances in live action. So you got to know that he was very personally invested in making this look and feel great and live up to the characters that he created. And it seems like it's being executed very well. And of course, because it's something that's so, and I'm not saying he doesn't care about things like Mando and, you know, Andor or other shows that he's involved in.
This is his baby.
But this is his baby. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of his baby, Ahsoka's shuttle, the T6 flying, the way they perfectly juxtapose that flying over Ezra's tower towards Lothal City with Sabine sitting on Ezra's tower. It's like, okay, you know, she knows Ahsoka's here and is just going to be waiting for this whole interaction. Like, it's they're doing a great job of setting this whole thing up.
I agree. And again, it looks excellent. looks so good.
Yep. And then something else that looked great right after that you may not have picked up on because you probably don't know it exists. The Starfighter that was flying next to the speeder bike is an E-wing.
I mean, is a what?
E-wing from
An
Legends.
E-wing?
Yep.
Oh, no, I did not know that. I've never heard of an E-wing before.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
familiar with Legends canon.
Yep. So,
Interesting.
yeah, old Starfighter that was big in Legends, and that little astromech that popped up. I was half expecting when I saw that. I was like, R7. No, it's not R7. But so Ahsoka probably has a new astromech, which is whatever we saw there. So that's kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I felt like, I guess if it's not R7, maybe I was wrong, but I felt like the way that shot of that droid happened, I was like, either I'm supposed to know who that droid is, or that droid's going to be like a big character, and they're giving us a shot of like, hey, check out this new cute droid.
Right.
You know, it kind of looked like an upgraded R2 unit, which would make sense if it was like, you know,
right.
It's slightly in the future, but you know, R2's been around for 50 years at this point already. So,
well, yeah. I mean, R7 got blown up in, what was it, the end of, was it season 7 of Clone Wars?
I don't remember exactly.
I think it was the Rex arc in Clone War, like the Rex chip arc in Clone Wars that he got shot in the quote unquote head.
Okay, and that would be season 7 then, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Either way, I mean, actually I wrote down the quote from while that scene was happening. Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him just like I walked away from Sabine.
Okay. Say it. If you have something else to say it, because then I want to talk about it.
Go for it.
No? Is this is new information? Or am I forgetting something about the end of Rebels?
That she walked away from Sabine is new.
Right. But did we know that she was training Sabine? Because this line implies that she was training Sabine.
Right.
I think.
Along with the line that comes after that of, you never made things easy for me, Master.
Yes.
And I couldn't tell if that was tongue in cheek or of like Sabine just got sick of Ahsoka treating her like a Padawan, or if something was going on there. And this is, so in the texts, when Mike and I were discussing this, I was talking about like a potential spoiler, and I was like, is this something that I'm forgetting or what?
Yeah.
So,
because I do not, I mean, again, I'm in season 4, my rewatch of Rebels, but I do not remember them having this conversation or Ahsoka agreeing to train her. But however, we know from the last episode of Rebels that there's a time jump. And so like the main story of Rebels ends before A New Hope starts, but then the epilogue, it jumps to the after Return of the Jedi, after the Empire is defeated. So there's a big chunk of time in there where if Sabine was training for something with Ahsoka, I think that could be and is what they're referencing. Now, Ahsoka's not a Jedi. She's a Force user. She wields lightsabers, but she's not a Jedi.
As told by the famous line, I am no Jedi.
I am no Jedi. So, but was she training Sabine to be a Jedi? Like, Sabine doesn't feel the Force. She's not a Force user, at least that we've seen, that we know of.
But she was gifted Ezra's lightsaber.
Yes.
Like Chopper gave it to her in season 7 or season 4, whatever. Wrong.
And she wields the Darksaber for a while and is taught how to fight with a lightsaber. So is this just an extension of the training that Sabine was getting like from Kanan?
Right.
Or was it literally, or has Sabine sprouted some Force sensitivity and was getting actual like low-key Jedi training from Ahsoka? What's going on? I don't know, but I'm dying to find out.
Right.
Dying to find out.
One thing we do know is, as we speculated prior to any of these trailers coming out and just seeing shots of Natasha Luberdizzo with the long hair, we get a haircut.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. And the shadow of her cutting her hair while looking at the helmet. So cool.
With Ezra's holocron going off in the background. Like, it was a nice composition there.
Yeah, that is some cool direction, and I hope that's the way it is, and I hope that's not just trailer. I hope that's how it is in the show,
Yeah,
or it's cooler. I don't know. Like,
right.
it's really awesome for sure.
Yeah, and you go right from that to the hyperspace jump with her, Ahsoka and Hu Yang taking off,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all
Yeah,
right. We're the buddy cop comedy is on its way.
yeah,
So,
yep. Oh man,
yep.
so good.
And then straight to Ahsoka, like literally beat for beat, as soon as they jump to hyperspace, right into Ahsoka's iconic stance,
Mm-hmm.
and then fighting the what is it, droid and the you get a couple of shots in there, like Sabine at the Rebels mural from
Yep.
the end of Rebels, and then her in the gunner turret of the T6, and then I don't know if you picked up on it, but at a minute 30, we have a giant shot of a Purrgil.
No, I missed a Purrgil. There's a Purrgil in the trailer?
Yeah. Yep.
How
They're
did I
flying
miss
the
that?
T6
I watched it like
at
3
a Purrgil.
times. What?
1 minute 30 seconds.
All right, I'm gonna watch it
I
again.
picked
I'm
it
gonna
up
pause
the last time I watched it. I was like, "Holy hell, that's a Purrgil!"
How did I
It
miss
looks
that?
like a
Oh
big
man.
shape or whatever, and I'm like, "That looks like a tentacle. That's an eye.
mean-
That's a giant whale. Holy cow!"
It makes a ton of sense
Yep.
considering we know how Rebels ends, so it makes plenty of sense that wherever they're going, they're going to encounter some Purrgils.
Yep.
For sure. I'm not sure how close we are to in your rundown here. How close are we to the reveal of Thrawn's face?
Literally the next shot.
Perfect. What did you think of the look of Grand Admiral Thrawn?
The first time I watched it, it was slightly jarring because I saw Lars Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
And then as soon like the more and in all honesty, once he speaks, because he was also the voice in Rebels, once he speaks, it's going to probably click more. But the more I watched it, I was like, okay, it does work.
Yeah.
But
It is
initially, it
weird
was
at
jarring at first.
It's weird at first because their heads are not shaped the same way. Because Thrawn has this alien, impossibly shaped head that's like too long and kind of too thin, and has weird bone structure underneath.
Which
And
was
it doesn't
that
look
was
like-
weird to me too, because in Legends, like the Chiss are literally just humans with blue skin and red eyes.
Oh, well, here we go. Now
Yeah.
we're, that's where we are then now. Back to live action. But it doesn't look like they wanted to or tried to put like prosthetics on his face to make him look his bone structure match or whatever. And that's fine for me. Like, I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are enraged that he doesn't have the big forehead or like the bulging, sticking out.
It's going to be the
Pointy
same people that
cheekbones or anything
complained
like that,
about Grand Inquisitor from Obi-Wan.
From Obi-Wan, yeah, exactly. And I've seen people complain that Mary Elizabeth Winstead doesn't have eyes that are the size of, aviator sunglasses on her face for like Hera, but like, yo, she's a human being and Hera is a cartoon. So I don't know what to tell you.
Right. And
it's gonna look a little different.
Plenty other like portrayals of Twi'leks that they don't have giant eyes. Weird.
Yeah. Right. This is a human being playing this character. Like, cut her some slack. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. If you want the thing that looks exactly the same, just watch Rebels again, because that's where it is. This is something different, but the same at the same time. So, yeah, I thought it looked good. And again, like the voice is almost as important as how he looks. And so if he's going to be blue with red eyes, that's all I need. He's going to have the voice that, like you said, that's going to sell it.
Yep.
For sure. Yep.
So from there you go to Sabine fighting the younger of the two Sith. I cannot remember their name, or sorry, Dark Jedi.
Yeah.
It's easier to write Sith in my notes.
That's fine. You can call him whatever you want. I think I just heard. I don't know if the show's going to call him Dark Jedi. I mean, because maybe not, because we just said in this trailer they say we are not Jedi. So maybe that's not what they're actually called. I read one article once that called them Dark Jedi, which is the only reason I said that. So maybe they are Sith. Who knows?
But I know you didn't pick it up the first time you saw it, but Sabine fighting her with Ezra's lightsaber.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I noticed she had a lightsaber. I didn't specifically notice that it was Ezra's, but as you reminded me that.
Yeah, I'm assuming green blade, like
Yeah.
Put 2 and 2 together
Yeah.
there.
And she does end up with that at the end of Rebels. So, yeah, it makes sense. It's also possible that there could be Sith. Those two could be Sith because always two there are. And after the Return of the Jedi, there aren't any.
It's true.
They're both dead, or we think one of them's dead. At
Right.
least.
For all we know, they're all dead.
Yeah. Or at least the actual one is dead, but there's going to be a clone of him that's going to return in another 30 years, 30 to 35 years.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Do we have
always
to
two
admit
there
that?
are. So, what was I saying? Oh, maybe these are like two just rogue Sith that are like, it's our time to shine. The Sith. Like, we can be
We
the
got
new
it.
two Sith. We got it.
So, well, no, they don't have it because after that, the last shot is Ahsoka dueling an Inquisitor.
An Inquisitor, yes.
Because I'm not a doctor, but there's only so many people that have spinny lightsabers.
Yes. So why? I guess there's no reason for there not to still be Inquisitors. I associate Inquisitors with being pre-New Hope.
Yep.
But that's only because they're not mentioned or seen once in the original trilogy. But there's a lot of things that aren't seen in movies that are later created to have existed at the same time.
Kind of like Ahsoka.
Like Ahsoka. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And she counts for 2, maybe 3 trilogies. So yeah, so my initial thought was like, oh, if she's fighting an Inquisitor, it must be a flashback. But that's not necessarily true. There could still be Inquisitors around. Just because we haven't seen any post Return of the Jedi or during the original trilogy doesn't mean that
right.
they're not out there.
Just like Order 66 didn't wipe out all the Jedi, maybe this didn't, wipe all of the Inquisitorius out.
Right. Like there's no reason to not keep them around unless Vader just got sick of them and, killed them all or something like that. But,
yeah.
But even if there's something like, what's that?
I was just gonna say, I'm picturing him getting fed up and just going after his own Inquisitorius, like just wiping them out for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Too.
Why not?
Yeah. It's a very Vader
but
thing to
do. But like you said, even if there is some kind of like Order 66 equivalent, but applied to Inquisitors, like clearly there could be some that just escaped and like went into hiding or whatever. But yeah, interested to see if this Inquisitor is somebody that we know or somebody that is going to be important, or is it just like an excuse to have a cool spinny lightsaber and a cool looking faceless person with a cool lightsaber fight? And either one of those I'm down for.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And then we end with a shot. I don't know if you recognize that shot and the stance she was in, but that overhand block that she had on the Inquisitorius was like the stereotypical Anakin poster.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And she also, the Ray Stevenson's character, again, R.I.P., because he just passed away, says that he knew Anakin.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
that he talked about, like he talked up Ahsoka or something like that. There was a line in there.
Yeah, Anakin always talked about you or always said that you were great or something like that. So that's exciting. And, as we've mentioned before, like we thought that it was announced officially, and apparently it has not been announced officially, according to a cagey response from Rosario Dawson recently in an interview. But it's widely believed that Hayden Christensen is going to show up in this series, and I believe he's going to show up as an Anakin Force Ghost to talk to Ahsoka.
That'd be a good one.
Because if it's not, it's got to be a flashback.
Right.
Or he's going to be or either way, it's got to be a flashback. Either him as Vader is going to be a flashback, or him as Anakin alive has to be a flashback. So my guess is that it'll be Force Ghost Anakin, which I will be very interested in seeing, if that's the case, how they handle that. And
oh, hey, how you doing? Sorry about
that.
Yeah. Remember that time in the temple? Whoops.
Yeah, and that first question out of Ahsoka's mouth has to, if he's a Force Ghost, and if it's the first time that he's appearing to her as a Force Ghost, then the first question out of her mouth has to be, how the hell do you get to be a Force ghost? You were a terrible, terrible, terrible human being.
Yeah, you know.
You were a terrible person. You should not be allowed to be a Force ghost. You massacred children.
Oh God.
Anyway, so very interested to see how they handle the return of hero Anakin Skywalker, even as a Force ghost.
Yeah, and if you pull up the cast on Wikipedia or Google or IMDb, he shows up everywhere. So,
oh, he's on there. Okay, yeah. I don't usually do stuff like that because I don't want to be, if there's somebody like, and Mark Hamill or something. Like I don't want to be like spoiled. Like I want to see I want to have the reveal.
Yeah, I was trying to look up the name of Ivana Sakno's character, the younger Dark Jedi there, Shin Hati.
Yeah. She seems pretty badass.
Yeah.
I like this trailer a lot, and part of the reason that I really like it, part of the reason my wife really liked it, is that, well, one, she's been watching select episodes of Rebels and really enjoying it. And two, this trailer makes it really seem like it's Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hera versus, the galaxy.
Yeah.
I guess more Ahsoka and Sabine, and Hera's a part of it, but the end of Rebels, Ahsoka and Sabine leave together. I'm sure Hera's involved more than just a cameo or two in the series, but I really like that it seems very female focused show. And that could just be the trailer making it look that way, but Ezra is currently missing hey, again, spoilers for the end of Rebels. I'm going to say some spoiler stuff right now, some big stuff. So if you're still listening, despite our allegations, it is on you. Our allegations? I'm going to say warnings. Why did I say allegations? I don't think we have any allegations against us. God, I hope
my
not.
Knowledge. We've been doing this for 2 years. Somebody's got to have been pissed off about something.
There's allegations of Star Wars prequel hatred, which are accurate.
Right.
Are well warranted. Sorry to offend any new listeners. Go listen to our rankings of all the Star Wars movies that we did on May 4th, and you'll find out how we feel about the Sorry. What was I saying? Oh, I mean, Ezra's missing in action. Kanan, not around. And
though maybe one of the best, if not the best, death scene in Star Wars.
I think it's my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to watch that episode. I'm like one episode away, and I'm like nervous to revisit that episode. But yeah, I think it's the best death scene in Star Wars. But despite seeing a cameo of him in Mandalorian season 3, no Zeb in this trailer.
We gotta see him at some point.
I feel like he's gonna show up.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just saving that. They're just saving it, maybe.
Well,
because why put him in Mandalorian season 3 if you're not gonna? Yeah.
You're not going to. I can see him not being a main piece of this cast just because I'm sure he costs a shit ton to produce.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But he looked good.
Unless they, he looked very good. But like you said, I'm sure he's expensive.
Yeah,
it's expensive to make him look that good, and in a show that the rest of it already looks as good as the stuff in the trailer looks. You have to match that with any CGI characters that you want to add.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Hey, just build a practical thing. Make it work. Figure it out. Build a practical thing and CGI his face. Let's do that. Save you some money. Huh? Lucasfilm? Get back to practical stuff. That's what I'm saying. I guess you do a lot of practical stuff, Lucasfilm. But I'm just saying, give me a practical Zeb. CGI his face if you need to. It's my suggestion. So yeah, 2-episode premiere.
Yeah.
2-episode premiere.
Similar
August.
To what they did with Andor, August 23rd.
August 23rd. Hell yeah. I'm all in. I cannot wait to finish my Rebels rewatch. And then jump right into this show.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
And because we completely forget, because it's a new thing, if you are looking to check up on any of the back catalog of Star Wars in print, feel free to check out Funky Town Comics and Vinyl in Camillus.
That's right.
Our new sponsors. But I know they've got a backlog of plenty of Legends stuff. They've got more Star Wars toys and gear than you could possibly ever need. and a Clone Wars #1 that I have no no way that my budget is handling that comic. But if anyone wants it, it's
there.
sitting on the wall, staring at me every week when I go in for my pull list. So
yeah, they've got a lot of pricey Star Wars valuable comics, an insane amount of Star Wars toys, and just the regular comics as well. Like someone was in there the other day. We were both in there the other day at the same time, and someone walked in and found like a stack of Legends novels or expanded universe novels that they were going for like super cheap. So I don't know if they're still there. That guy might have bought them all.
I think. But anyway, I think Casey grabbed all of those. So.
Yeah. So check out Funky Town for many of your Star Wars needs, and check out Ahsoka when it hits Disney Plus this August. Pumped for that. And check out this Sunday night the Multiverse Report when we come back and talk about the other things that happened today, the big things that happened today, Superman Legacy, Blue Beetle. And I'm sure there's going to be more stuff that happens this week, including possibly actors strike. Things are looking not great for actors, I guess. So things are, it's going to be a big deal. Things are going to be shutting down, I think, looking that way.
Sounds about like it. But if you need your fix before then, feel free to check out themultiversereport.com, which has links to all of our stuff, including Apple Podcasts, where you can leave us a nice 5-star review. Much appreciated. Helps the algorithm, send us out to more people. YouTube, please review and leave some comments and interact with us there. I see we've got a couple people in the chat tonight. So,
hey, hello.
Thank you to all of you loyal listeners. Even if it's your first time, like I know a couple of them are.
Oh, nice. Welcome. Come back. Sunday nights, 9:30.
Absolutely. Assuming nothing stupid else happens this week, Sunday nights.
Yeah.
So beyond that on the socials, the Multiverse Report, and that's your best bet for finding us.
Yeah. We're pushing a lot more of stuff to our socials, specifically our Facebook and Instagram feeds. We're not sure if we're going to sign up for Threads yet. Thinking about it, feeling it out, hearing some mixed reviews about it, but I don't know. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook.
Whenever I come through with another Blue Sky invite, we'll get on there. So
yeah, that would be great. That'd be great. But yeah, we're pulling clips from the shows. We're posting, things like comic reviews and just like, little bits of news here and there. So check us out on the socials. Check us out on YouTube. You can listen to or watch all of our back episodes. Listen to all our back episodes on podcatchers wherever you want to. And I think that's it. So yeah, like Steve said, unless some other insane amount of news drops this week that we need to talk about, we will see you Sunday night, 9:30, live on YouTube. And that's it. So until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you in the multiverse.